Alright, what is good, everybody? I didn't notice that got me out there taking a nice little swig. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Just want to make sure everything working. If there's um, any problems with the audio or anything, just let me know. I will fix it. Feel free to type in the chat or text me, Instagram, whatever. But let's get right to it. So Bitcoin hit $100,000. Like, what does this even mean? Like, why is this significant? Why should anybody even care? Honestly, like, I'm glad I wrote notes because it's just so much to talk about. All right, first things first. Bitcoin. Everybody knows about Bitcoin at this point. If you don't, look it up, learn about it. It's the wave, cryptocurrency. People are speculating that it's going to replace the dollar eventually. So, what we're looking at right now is a 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. If you're new to investing or any type of trading, crypto, stocks, whatever, oftentimes you'll see charts like this that depicts price with candlesticks. You have open, high, low closes. Open, we're opened at the high. It's the low. Well, this doesn't have a low, but a low, and then the close. And that's how all candlesticks move. So we are looking at Bitcoin now on the daily chart, and as you can see, Bitcoin has traded to $103,000. So I have some notes. Just follow my notes so I don't ramble. So I can ramble. Like I can ramble. So first of all, why did Bitcoin hit $100,000? So a big speculation in the market right now is that Trump is going to be very crypto friendly. People believe that Trump is going to be the starting point to crypto regulations, different things. Because if you don't know, crypto for the most part now is pretty highly unregulated, and that's okay. People still use it. People are still using it. But the fact that we can get it regulated means we can get it recognized by our government, which therefore solidifies it even more. And if we can take advantage of getting into Bitcoin at this point, then that would be great for our pockets, because obviously we can catch it before everyone else jumps on it. So as far as why specifically, like, who cares that Trump kind of likes Bitcoin? Well, Trump is in the process of selecting the different people that he wants to work with, amongst, and so forth. And one of those people, I forgot the guy's name. I actually was writing notes and I forgot his name. I'll have to go back and find it because I don't want to get off topic too much and start getting off track. But that's the premise. That's why we're here where we are now. And this happened just not long ago tonight in the evening time, right? So these markets still operate, they still move, and they still fluctuate even in the afternoon sessions. We all know that, typically the markets are 9 to 5, but you still have after market trading. You still have news that happens after hours, and all those different things still affect it. So if you look at this rally here to 100K, like I said, this just happened today at Wednesday. This very strong rally. So this is today. This delineates today, right here at 12. So this is today. So I personally am a price action trader. I like to analyze and view price action. I like to look at certain factors and certain things that help me indicate what's happening. So for example, I'm not going to go into detail about how I trade my strategy because it can be confusing if you're not a trader or kind of know some of the jargon and terminology. But regardless, I like to see like lows being swept before a rally. That's the simplest way that I like to explain my trading. There are different factors and conditions, but as you can see, these are one of the things that happens all the time. All the time, no matter what market you trade in, no matter what it is, crypto, stocks, commodities, options, futures, forex, I don't care. This is how price action, what we're seeing right now with candles, is called price action. This is how price action operates. This is how price action delivers. This is how price action books. So I can go back and show you guys some of my old trades. You can watch some of my other videos. These are the specific things that I look for in my trade to see a low being swept, or if I want to sell, I like to see a high being swept. And like I said, I'm not just saying that. You can go back and look at my other videos. This is how I trade. So if I was trading Bitcoin, or if I was looking in wanting to get into Bitcoin, this would be a condition that I would be looking for. So that's just that, just to preface that. So what now? right? So we have Bitcoin at over $100,000, actually $103,000. So what now? What does that mean? Well, it can mean a few different things depending on how strong the move itself is. Now, this is a very strong move. Like I said, we're looking at this on the daily. So you can see on the daily just today where Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin has increased, right? So you get Bitcoin yesterday closing at 96,486, right? Let's run that back. And right now we're at 103,361. Okay, so if you subtract that 96,486, you get $6,875. That's how much Bitcoin has went up today by. So this gives you a good idea of what's happening, and what's going on in the markets and how price is actually moving. That's from that's a pretty big move. It's a sustainable move. It's not a bad move that anybody who owns Bitcoin will be mad at, right? Okay, so now we are in new highs. These are brand new highs that we've never seen before, okay? And we are not, and you are not, and I'm not, and you don't want to be in the market of trying to call tops and trying to call bottoms. What is trying to call tops and what is trying to call bottoms? Okay, so what that means is, for example, you see Bitcoin hypothetically back here, right? We're at December 20th, and Bitcoin is trading at about $19,000, right? These are brand new highs, so if you know, act like this isn't here, like you don't see that, we actually put a box over it. And just assume like this highlighted section, the shaded section, you can't see this. Like it's not, it hasn't happened yet, right? Well, I can actually do that. I can actually do it on the replay. Yeah, just use this because on the weekly it's free. Okay, so yeah, perfect example. We are at the 20th of December, and this is what you see. You see these highs. We do not want to be in the business of trying to call these highs. Like, okay, we think it's about to get ready to turn around now. Like, okay, it went from here and now it's at 33,000. I'm pretty sure you have no historical data to base that off of. It's nothing in the back that reflects where price may switch or dip or turn or trade or whatever the case may be. So it's just something to keep in mind. So we don't want to be trying to call trades. Okay. So what happens if you do try to call a trade, right? So what happens if you say, okay, right here, right now, these are brand new highs. I think I'm about to start selling. Well, let's see. You're getting fucked. Because it's still going up. Right? Still going up. I can do this candle by candle, can't I? I think I can do this candle by candle. No, I can't. Okay, so yeah, I just completely fucked that up. But this was right here, though. It was right over here. And you can see price kept going up. It kept going up. And then eventually, it made a turn around and it started dropping down. And what happens when you see it drop down? People are like, okay, now it's dropping down. Now I'm ready. And then what happens? The market makes its way back up and it makes a brand new record high that it's never made before. And then what happens then? Oh, it's going back up. And then it cuts back down again. Right? So these are different things that you have to be aware of in the market that are very much real and very much prevalent. And these things are historical and they happen often and they repeat themselves. So, with that being said, we do not want to be trying to call tops. We do not want to be trying to call highs. Bitcoin hit $103,000. If you put money in, I would put my money in for it to continue to go higher. If it goes lower, I'll lose my money. That's why you got stop losses. But I'm not trying to fight against the trend, and that's a common thing that you see amongst traders, especially new traders. What they do is they fight against the trend. They always, it's a analogy or a saying, and say like, don't swim against the tide, don't swim against the wave, you know, because you're making it harder and you're not gonna win that fight. You might catch a little bit here and a little bit there, but overall you'll lose more than you win trying to fight the trend. For example, imagine trying to sell any of this move here, right? Imagine trying to sell that. Imagine seeing this, like, okay, because before it closed you had a candle down here, right? It closed up here, so now it's a skinny. You can see that it was just irrelevant. But before this happened, before it finished the move and it closed, it was a candle down here. People thought this was going to continue to go lower, and then what did the market do? It came back and it went higher. So don't fight against the trend because you'll ultimately lose. Okay, cool. So now what? No one knows what's going to happen. No one knows when it'll turn. No one knows what will happen. The best thing that you can do, like I said, is stay with the trend. The overall trend is bullish, meaning it's going up. Stay with the trend and stay informed on the news and see what happens with the news. If you hear anything about Bitcoin, if you hear anything about the SEC, hear anything about Trump, see anything about Bitcoin, it's different factors and different things. So just be aware if you can, right? Cool. So the likely scenario that I think will happen next. So Bitcoin just made a brand new record high of over $100,000, which have never been seen before. This is historical, definitely. So typically when you see these things happen, and then it's very much broadcasted and aware by everyone, and in the news, and you get notifications from your phone that Bitcoin hit, that's usually a period of time where you'll start to see some sort of correction or retracement, right? So for example, if you are just a normal everyday Joe that works a regular job, but you know about crypto, you know about it, but you don't necessarily have a huge crypto account, or you don't have a strategy, you just kind of buy some on Cash App, or you buy some on Coinbase, or whatever the case may be, but you're not really an active investor. Well, what happens typically is people will hear, oh, Bitcoin 100K, they'll buy it, right? And then what happens when they buy it? It'll drop back down. And these things are not random. These things are not fake. This is real life shit that happens all the time. Intraday, day trading, swing trading, long trading, it doesn't happen. Everything that you see here, right? I know this won't make sense to most of you, but if you actually decide to look more into it and learn about this, price is fractal. The same thing that you're seeing here on the weekly chart, each of these candles are weekly candles. And if you drop down to the 1 minute, you're seeing the exact same thing. The only difference is each of these candles are 1 minute. So to get that same weekly candle, you will have to add all these up to get a week. But this dropping down to a lower time frame allows you to see the details, right? So this is the day. You see what I mean? This is today. This is Wednesday when Bitcoin hit $100,000. If you drop down to the 15, this is that same day marked out by this line that lets you know, except the difference is you can see the details when you drop down to a lower time frame. So, something to keep in mind. So yeah, if you're just a retail investor or active investor, whatever the case may be, don't trade just based off the highlights, the news, the mainstream news, because typically when that happens, it'll start reversing because people are putting money in. And how do this is a zero-sum game. Like if I can explain it in a simple way. Anytime somebody's making money, somebody's losing money because of that. And anytime somebody's losing money, somebody's making money because of that. Right? So if I want to make the most money, I want to wait until everybody wants to buy in and just completely do the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Completely just throw them the fuck off. And the same thing that I'm explaining to you right now is the same thing that I'm saying when you see these sweeps, right? Because, for example, people see this and they're like, oh, it's dropping. Now it's time to sell. And that's what the sentiment is among people, that it's time to drop, it's time to sell. But in reality, what's happening is that it's gathering enough people and pooling those people together, all that money, and it's creating what? It's called liquidity. You have liquidity underneath here. You have people who want to buy that comes down and it takes them out because it looks like it's going to drop. You have people who want to sell and it takes them out because they think it's going to drop but it actually goes back up. So you have liquidity being engineered and generated on both sides until you get the real move. So anytime you see not like a huge move, but it looks like it's about to be a huge move, it's typically a fake out. And then from there, you'll get that real sustained move. For example, here, you had price make this little fake rally as it was about to get ready to rally. You know, this candle here was bigger than the rest of these candles, so people thought, okay, now it's starting, and then boom, it dropped. And then you got the real move. So there are different things to look at. I offer a service where I do analysis that I send out. I have daily packages and a weekly package, depending on how you like to invest. It's extremely affordable. I'm not trying to rip people off and make a whole bunch of money off of it because I make money trading. But it is a good way to learn about trading and learn how to look at charts and learn to do the analysis. One of the packages is $10 and one of the packages is $20. So it's extremely affordable. And it's nothing crazy. Just a great way to get your feet wet and get into the door. Prices will not stay the same. My analysis is getting better. I'm getting better. I'm doing this every single day. So eventually the price is going to go up. And that's just what it is. So, but if you continue to watch these, you continue just to be diligent and learn and study, you don't need me. I don't need your money and you don't need my service. You can learn this on your own just the way I did. But it's important to have a mentor, or it's important to have someone to guide you to kind of cut that learning curve at least a little bit shorter. Like this type of thing is always going to have a big learning curve. But if you can have someone kind of show you the ropes, it'll cut that a lot because I'm still in my learning curve. But I still do have a very great mentor, extremely great mentor. And I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but my trading it's not bad, not the best, but it's not bad. I'm not a horrible trader at all. I actually do pretty well for myself. But with that being said, likely scenario, like I said, I'm expecting a sell-off because the hype is up. People hear about it. Everybody wants it, from old to young to new investors to old investors to big corporations, right? Retail, normal people like me and you aren't the only people buying Bitcoin and crypto and XRP, right? You have these different corporations, these different companies, these entities, these hedge funds, prop firms, people just by themselves, normal people with large amounts of capital. So there's different people in the market who are all trying to make money. It's not people just like me and you, normal retail investors who, it's not like we got like $50 million. We don't make these big moves happen, right? We're the small fish. We don't really make any of these moves on this chart happen. We're just a small fish. We take advantage of the big moves. Okay, so I'm expecting to see a likely sell-off at some point in time because I'm expecting the hype to drive price back down to one. I wanted to scare the retail traders. I wanted to scare people. So if you bought Bitcoin, you had some Bitcoin, you got it down here or anywhere kind of similar to this area, or even here, you got Bitcoin, or even if you got it here, no matter where, if you're below here, you're in profit. What I want to do is to see price start reversing and trading down, because what's going to happen? For one, that's going to scare the fuck out of people, especially uninformed retail people who just got lucky and bought Bitcoin at the right time and made money. Especially if they really made money, like a nice chunk of change, and they did it just on a fucking whim, and they don't know how they did it, and they see 15,000, 18,000, it's continue to go up. And then the second it started dropping down hard, that's when people get scared, and they want to liquidate their positions, and they want to take it out. What happens when you sell? Somebody has to buy it. So that means it's going to go back up. If you liquidate enough positions, enough sell positions, it'll go give you back that rally. Same thing that you're seeing here. You liquidate sell positions, you get the rally. So, like I said, that's what I'm expecting to see. I wanted to scare retail traders into thinking that price is going to reverse. That this is it. They got their money and they're out, or they don't want to lose their profits. You might be right here for Bitcoin. You might be in a little bit of profit, and then it's coming back down, and now you want to sell because you want to leave with some profits. You don't want to go negative, right? I get it. But this is psychology behind trading that you have to be aware of, right? Because this is real life shit. This is not for fake. This is real. If you ever traded anything in your life and you see your money going against you, it's not a good feeling, right? Like, I've traded Forex for years. I've seen price go negative 300, 400, 500, 600. It is not a great feeling. But then once you realize how to trade and you see your money going to negative, but you know why, it's not scary at all, because you know what the real move is going to be and how it's going to happen. Right? You see it went from 103 to 102. A lot of people just sold Bitcoin because of that, whether you know it or not. A lot of people sold Bitcoin because of that. So that's one of the likely scenarios that I'll expect to see. I'm not going to make this video super long, so I'll keep going because I already talked a lot about that. Yeah, scare retail people and think it's going to reverse. To make other traders who made a profit cash in, because obviously, like I said, they don't want to lose their profits. And then finally, to provide an optimal entry for people who are smart, for people who got in at the right time. What does that mean, right? In my opinion, I don't expect Bitcoin to trade to nothing, or I don't expect Bitcoin just to disperse and just not be a thing anymore, unless something very pivotal happens, or something very crazy happens, or whatever the case, like Trump has to say, I hate Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the devil, or whatever the case may be. But crypto is widely accepted in different places, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin is accepted into a lot of different places. You can pay with Bitcoin, shop with Bitcoin, do whatever you need to do with Bitcoin. And then I feel like the closer we get to government regulation and acceptance, the higher that it'll go. It's the same thing as like the NASDAQ or gold or whatever the case may be. I feel like Bitcoin will eventually become ingrained into our society and other societies across the world as well. So that's that. And just to touch on that last topic a little bit more, and I'm gonna wrap it up. To look for optimal entry. So if I told you that people get scared, they don't want to lose their money, and they don't want to lose their profits, right? You don't want to go negative and lose money, and then you also don't want to lose your profits. So how do you do that? And then also, if you didn't get in yet, what's the optimal way to get in? There's a few different things you can do. The one thing that I'm going to share with you today is to wait for a retracement. You want to wait for a retracement, and I'm about to give you some sauce. I'm about to give you guys some real fucking sauce. Take it or leave it. I don't care. But this is some real sauce that's going to be found in a fucking live with a few views. But if the right person comes across this, it could change their life. So, price trades in ranges, right? So, everything is a range. From the low to the high, this is a range. From this low to this high, this is a range. You see that sweep I told you about, and then you get that rally? Right. This shit is not make-believe. Shit not made up. This is shit that happens every day. Will continue to happen every day. You always have a range. You have ranges inside of ranges. You have ranges inside of bigger ranges, right? So you got this high to this low, and within the inside you have this high and then this low. So there's different ranges, right? So the piece of sauce that I'm about to give you guys, and I'm about to get the fuck out of here and enjoy the rest of my night. Have me a drink. I don't know if this got caught on the start of the video, but if it did, so what? I'm chilling. You have a range. Everything is in a range. So if you're a new trader, or if you're not a new trader, it really don't matter. Anyone can use it if you don't know about it. Mark out your ranges on your chart. And you want to find the deep lows. Because you see how I just went to this one? Because my eye at first didn't go to this one. You want to look at the deep range. Right? You want to look at those deep ranges. Not just kind of, this is a range. This is a high to low. Okay, this is a range too. You want to look at the bigger context of what makes sense. Look for where is the liquidity resting. Right? Remember I told you I look for those lows to get sweat before it goes up? You want to look for spots like that. Right? So this is a range. Okay. And then this is a range as well. From this low to this high is a range. Does that make sense? The low to the high. Ranges inside of ranges and ranges and ranges and ranges and ranges. And if you drop down to a lower time frame, you have even more ranges. But the piece of sauce that I'm about to give every single body right now, if you watch this, is to locate the 50% of your range. Oftentimes, you'll see price trade back to about 50%. You have these things called discounts and premiums. I won't cover today, but you typically see price trade to sometimes 50% exactly and go back up. Sometimes it'll trade lower than 50%, but typically, most of the time, you'll see price trade to 50% of the range. So what does that mean, 50% of the range? So, for example, if we're using this range from this low to this high, this line here represents what's called equilibrium. This is our sweet point, our middle point, our 50%. This is our equilibrium. And our equilibrium is 50% of this range, right? So we got that marked out, and that is our range. And what do you see? You might not see it, especially if you're new, but if you've been paying attention to this video, what did you see? You see a low down here, right? You see liquidity. Right? And that is beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see. You want to see a low below or around that 50% level, right? Because for one, that's giving prices in a discount, meaning the big money sellers, if price comes down here, the big money sellers, right? This is a discount. They're getting a deal for down here, right? Price comes down here. They're getting a deal. And what do people think when they see this? That price is selling off. But what it's doing is it's coming into a discount of this entire range below this 50%. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't have to come below the 50%. Sometimes it'll stop at the 50%. I'm talking about stop it to a T, touch it, and fly back up. Sometimes it'll come lower. Sometimes, depending on if you know where range you're in, and this is, like I said, it can get complex. It could come down here. You might be looking at this range thinking, what the fuck, bro? This is way past 50%. You just sat there and lied to me. But what you have to understand is that it's always a range inside of a range. So if it comes past that, okay, then you have to look at another bigger picture range. And then you see this line, this equilibrium of a bigger range, right? Boom. And then what do you see in this range? As you also seen in this one, around 50%, what do you get? Lows. liquidity. So if price didn't stop here and just decide price didn't stop here and it wanted to, I mean, if price did stop here and go back up, beautiful. If it didn't stop here and it went lower, okay, we're below 50% of the bigger range. So now I might be able to see price boom, 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 take off, right? So that's a piece of sauce. Do what you will. You can get on these charts yourself and go find that for yourself. I'm not making this shit up. You can get on the charts right now. Go to this website, tradingview.com, find whatever chart you want to find, and then just look at ranges. Find you a range. Find you a range. I'll show you another example. I just randomly pulled. This is not fake. I just randomly found this. I didn't handpick this. None of this is handpicked. I just been doing this shit for a while. I know what to look for. This is about 50% of that range, right? Fuck it. I'm going to do it right. I'll show you guys exactly for the purpose of this video. Boom. 50% of the range. What do you see? A high. What happens after a high gets taken? Boom. It sails off. You could have made money there. Boom. Okay. It kind of consolidated a little bit. Whatever. But 50% of the range, it's in a discount. I mean, it's in a premium. Excuse me. It's in a premium. Once you are selling, you want to sell in a premium. If you're buying, you want to buy in a discount, right? So if you want to buy down here. If you want to sell, you want to sell up here. What happens? Price comes into a premium. It takes out the high. Just about. It might not take this one out exactly, but it took out this high. It gathered liquidity, and what happened? It sold off. That's some fucking awesome sauce. Do what you will. That's the tip of the tip. Just a little bit of something for you guys. I will have more videos if people want to learn more about this stuff. I'll drop my links. Whatever you guys may need from me, want to learn, whatever it is, just hit me. Let me know. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on all that. YouTube. Probably better off catching me on YouTube because I'm on a 90-day really not using Instagram like that other than business stuff. But other than that, man, this shit is real. Money can be made. Everything is here. I just gave you a plethora of information. Whether you decided to take it or not, it's up to you. I just decided to do analysis and give back today and talk about Bitcoin. So I hope this helps. Hope you guys learned something. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.